All right, I kind of missed week 9. I thought I had already went over the Vikings, but I haven't. So November 8th, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CBS. The Lions will be taking on the Minnesota Vikings week 9. So let's break down the Minnesota Vikings roster, draft, and offseason, and give my synopsis on how the Lions stack up against Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cooks and, Harrison Smith's Minnesota Vikings. Shout out to Danielle Hunter, one of the most underrated pass rushers out there, players in the NFL. So let's get it started. Make sure you check out Detroit Lions Talk for more videos like this. Lions 101 playlist will be in full effect starting next week, hopefully, or Sunday, which is technically the start of a new week. So I'm going to start back doing those as well. So Kirk Cousins, they signed him to an extension. They let Everson Griffin go. He went to the Dallas Cowboys. Stephon Diggs got traded to the Bills. Xavier Rhodes, he got cut and went over to the Indianapolis Colts. And Riley Reef, he stayed and restructured his contract the other day, former Lion. And that's been a theme. We got a lot of former Lions coming up on our schedule this year. Linval Joseph, he gone. He went to the Los Angeles Chargers. Josh Klein, still a free agent out there. Trey Waynes from Michigan State, he went to the Bengals. Michael Pierce, he came over from the Ravens. Anthony Harris stayed with them. He is safety. Rashad Hill stayed with them. He is safety. Andrew Sadejo, I can't believe he left. He went down to Cleveland, a little bit south of Minnesota, a lot of big south. Dan Bailey is their kicker. They brought him back. Marcus Sherrills, he's still out there, free agent. Britton Colquitt, punter, they brought him back. Dakota Dozer, left guard, they brought him back. Shane Mannion, quarterback, they brought him back. Yannick Ngakoue, they got him via trade from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another former Detroit Lions. Amir Abdullah, they brought him back. Brent Jones, center, brought him back. LaQuad Treadwell, the great LaQuad Treadwell, which Realistic Randy hates. And I like his show, man. So shout out to Realistic Randy and all the Minnesota Vikings YouTubers and podcasters. I follow them as well. It's pretty good stuff, I can't lie. But he went to the Atlanta Falcons. He be doing the dirty bird over there. Ty Sharp from the Titans. He here with the Vikings now. Hardy Nickerson, inside linebacker from the Bengals. He with the Minnesota now. C.J. Ham, running back. He back with Minnesota. Kentrell Brothers, they didn't bring him back. Inside linebacker. David Morgan, they didn't bring him back. Inside linebacker. And now Detroit Lions, Jerron Kearse, they didn't bring him back because he was the Lions, but he got 3-game suspension. Stephen Worthley, they let him walk to the Panthers, 4-3 defensive end. Eric Wilson, he back 4-3 outside linebacker. And Stephen Park, safety. They brought him in from the Dolphins. So, kind of what stands out to me is really no Harrison Smith. No Everson Griffin. No Stephon Diggs, who killed us last year. No Xavier Rhodes, who was getting bad. I don't know what happened last year. No Trey Waynes. I mean, they kind of losing some guys. Andrew Sadejo, we get used to seeing him for a lot of years. Mackenzie Alexander, he went to the Bengals as well, they cornerback. But they also stand out to me as they got Yannick Ngakoue, okay? And Ty Sharp, I liked him as well. Good receiver, big receiver. So I think they did pretty good in free agency. Lost some guys, but they got some credible guys to replace them to go with a lot of their great players in Danielle Hunter, Harrison Smith, Dalvin Cook. So, and also Riley Reef restructuring also helped them out as well. They drafted Justin Jefferson in the first round with a 22nd pick, with their 31st pick in the first round. They also got Jeff Gantley. Some guys that the Lions wanted as well. Love Justin Jefferson on LSU. Explosive receiver. He should be able to fill the void a little bit. Him and Ty Sharp with Stephon Diggs going. It's going to take some time, though. But he wasn't happy. There's a Cleveland offensive tackle out of Boise State. I liked him for the Lions as well at some point, so that was a good pickup. Cameron Dancer, the cornerback out of Mississippi State. So the cornerbacks they losing, they replacing them quick, fast, and early. And I think Gantley is going to be a good cornerback. Maybe now, maybe down the line. Who knows? Cornerbacks take some time to develop. In the fourth round, I had a lot of picks. DJ Wanham, from defensive end from South Carolina. James Lynch, defensive line from Baylor in the fourth round as well. Another fourth round pick, Troy Dye, linebacker from Oregon. So they went heavy defense in the first 4 rounds. Fifth round pick, another one, cornerback out of Temple, Harrison Hand. That is a rising program as well. They took KJ Osborne out of Miami, receiver, in the 5th round. 6th round, Blake Brownell, offensive lineman from Oregon State. They took Michigan, another Michigan guy go off the board. Josh Metellus, safety. I think he could play some joker as well. All right, Kenny Wilkeeks, defensive end. out of Michigan State, another Big Ten guy in the 7th round. 7th rounder, Nathaniel Stanley, quarterback from Iowa. Another 7th rounder, Brian Cole, safety from Mississippi State. And 7th rounder, Kyle Hinton, guard, Washburn. So a lot of these guys probably didn't even make the roster, to be real. But looking at their draft, they got a lot of guys that they probably counting on to contribute right away down the line. And Todd Sharp is a guy they brought in from Tennessee to play receiver. But they counting on Justin Jefferson to fill that role that Stephon Diggs made. And Jefferson worked good out the slot, but he got some speed. So receiver is a position that sometimes hit the ground rolling. A lot of times if receivers struggle early on, sometimes they don't never come back. You know what I'm saying? So you got receivers that get off to hot starts like Charles Rogers and they kind of fall off. What was it? Mark Clayton, I think, for the Ravens, had a great season and fell off. It was another Clayton in the league. I get them mixed up. Also, you know, you had Anquan Bolden, who had a great rookie season. He went on to be a solid receiver in the league as well, too. So Justin Jefferson is, he's a hell of a receiver. Jeff Gantley, I mean, they could be expecting him to come in and contribute early on, especially with COVID and injuries. They got some offensive linemen, heavy defense, and that's what kind of Mike Zimmer like. I root for Mike Zimmer because he got fucked over so many times in Cincinnati for jobs. So I kind of like a lot of the guys from Minnesota. Don't really have no ill will towards them, but I don't like no Kirk Cousins, though. They fans need to understand that Kirk Cousins ain't better than Matthew Stafford, straight up and down. But, yeah, let's move on, man. But that hell of a draft by them, but we see what some of these dudes do, right? All right, so they depth chart lined up like this. And at some point next year, I have it where you can see it on the screen. COVID kind of messed me up in my setup, so I had to tear my setup down and redo my basement. So Adam Thielen is going to be their starting receiver. He's going to play more in the slot. They got Justin Jefferson starting on the outside of him. He can play in the slot and outside. Todd Sharp is also is the backup, and KJ Osborne is his backup, and some other guys we have or maybe not heard about. Riley Reef is starting at left tackle. We remember in Detroit, we put him at left and right. It just didn't work. Dakota Dozier, left guard. Garrett Bradbury, pretty good guy, center. Pat Elfine, right guard. Brian O'Neill, right tackle. So they put some draft picks into these offensive line as well, too. So they coming up offensive line-wise. So I think they should be able to run the ball and get better pass protection for Kirk Cousins, especially versus, the Chicago Bears. They made Kirk Cousins his bitch last year, so they bitch. So we know that, man. But moving on, quarterback Kirk Cousins, his backup is Sean Million. Nate Stanley is his backup. If he made the team, if this is updated. Dalvin Cook is the starting running back. I guess he made it back to camp. Alexander Madison is a good backup for them. Michael Boone, Amir Abdullah is backing him up. C.J. Ham is their fullback. So offensively, they got a good team, look like. Defense is where they bread they butter at. Daniil Hunter starting. Jaleel Johnson, Shamar Stevens, they both the interior linemen. Yannick Ngakoue is the right defensive end. All right, so they got a nice little line. I don't know if Ngakoue been in camp or not, or what type of shape he in, but Anthony Barr on the outside, pretty good. Eric Kendricks in the middle, I think he's one of the best in the business that nobody talk about for real, but he's one of the best middle linebackers out there. Eric Wilson, weak side linebacker. Mike Hughes is one starting corner. The other corner is Hilton Holt, is the other starting corner. Cameron Dantzler is their nickelback. So right now, their cornerback position is looking totally different. Jeff Gantley is slated to back up. Chris Boyd is backing up as well, too. Safeties, Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris. Kicker, Brent Colquitt. Place kicker is Dan Bailey. They punters Quentin Colquitt. Kick return and punt return is Amir Abdullah. Some guys that opted out, Michael Pierre and Cameron Smith for them. And Kenny Wilkett is on injured reserve. But, looking at them offensively, pretty much is going to be how they block. That's the difference. They had some issues blocking great defensive fronts like Chicago last year. And, Kirk Cousins was getting called out by Stephon Diggs. And he wasn't happy because Kirk Cousins couldn't give him the ball. And Kirk Cousins is utter trash. People point to the stats, but I point to games like Chicago when he played great defenses in the 49ers. When Dalvin Cook ain't running, Kirk Cousins ain't doing shit at all. So Kirk Cousins can't put you on his back. That throw he made versus New Orleans was a great throw. But New Orleans is known to choke in the playoffs. So pretty much it's going to be about how Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison run this year, how they protect, how they open up run holes. When they're able to protect Kirk Cousins run the ball, and Justin Jefferson and Todd Sharp and KJ Osborne and Adam Thielen able to fill the void of Stephon Diggs, I don't really see Minnesota being a real threat. But if they don't protect him, if they don't run the ball, or Devin Cook get injured and Madison can't pick up the slack, there's going to be some problems. And also tight end Kyle Rudolph, Irv Smith still there. I like both of them. Kyle Rudolph out of Notre Dame, big physical tight end, still doing it years later. Irv Smith a little bit compact, athletic, had a solid year for a tight end last year. But yeah, I think this offense, it may have a drop off, but it might have it might rise up this year because I think they didn't invest into their offensive line. Irv Smith should be 1 year better. The jump from year 1 to year 2 for tight ends, a lot of times it's extraordinary. It's all about how they fill in for Stephon Diggs and how they block for Kirk Cousins if they run the ball. No run the ball, Kirk Cousins trash. Defensively, Yannick Ngakoue should be up to speed. He took a pay cut to come here. They lost Linval Joseph. They lost some interior lineman, Sharif Floyd, over the years. He never really, popped like we thought he would pop coming out of college. But, they got some good pass rushers. Yannick, Danielle Hunter, Anthony Barr, and then Eric Kendricks, one of the best middle linebackers. So up front, it shouldn't be no real drop off. But interior, if they can't stop the run in interior, or if it's a drop off from Linval and some of them other guys they had in there, then it's gonna be a problem. But the DB backfield is what I worry for them the most about. Harrison Smith, Notre Dame veteran, I like him a lot. But you looking worried about Mike Hughes and Holton Hill and not having Xavier Howard there. Xavier Rose, there. Might hurt a little bit, but he was terrible last year. So one thing about Mike Zimmer and Cincinnati Bengals, they knew how to get cornerbacks and develop them. So on paper that might look a little bit soft there, but I think they'd be fine. Only place I'm really concerned about them is probably the interior a little bit. If they can stop the run this year, along with their pass rush and they back end play up to Mike Zimmer standards, they should be fine. So they got a solid team, solid special teams, but I just think the Achilles heel is still Kirk Cousins. I just think so. He a limited quarterback. I've been saying that since he was at Michigan State. Go Blue though. He's limited. He won't win you nothing. So for Kirk Cousins to win, it got to be like what's my man's name that played for the Titans on TV now? Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson. He that type of quarterback to me. Everything got to be right for him to win. If Cook don't run, it's like an engine. If an engine ain't cranking over, the car ain't going. If Cook don't run, this car ain't going. And Kirk Cousins, they can't protect him. If they protect him and run the ball this year, they can be a Super Bowl caliber team. If they don't run the ball this year, and they don't run block or do one or two, and they have a hard time filling the void for Stephon Diggs, then it could be a situation where they're not so good. So I think the Vikings are a boom or bust. But with them having probably, they probably may be the favorites to win this division if everybody didn't cock-pull Aaron Rodgers. Now we're having expectations. The question is, can they live up to them? Anytime Kirk Cousins has expectations to win the big game, he ain't never pulled through, even in college. Probably in Pop Warner, man, he probably couldn't pull through. You know what I'm saying? So with the expectations they got, this year, he might fold under pressure. He might step up. But his career in Washington, Michigan State, probably going back to Pop Warner, probably coming out of his mama womb, he just can't cut the cake. He can't get over the hump. And this ain't me being an asshole or being callous. Like I said, I have no reason to have ill will towards the Minnesota Vikings. When they went 15-1, I cried when that kicker missed that kick because I knew the Atlanta Falcons was going to get their ass whooped in that Super Bowl. And I won my pop some money as a kid because I knew it. So it ain't no ill will. It's just that their quarterback is their weakest position on this team. Sorry. If you put Tom Brady here or you can reincarnate young Brett Favre here, or you put Aaron Rodgers in this situation, it's probably a Super Bowl caliber team. They probably favored to win that home. I'm coming out the NFC. But Kirk Cousins is just not cut the cake. And they forget all the times where this dude folded up. Everything got to be right around Kirk Cousins for y'all to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. But how we match up versus them, man, it just comes down, can we run the ball on them? Can we protect Stafford? And, can we stop Dalvin Cook? And can we get after Kirk Cousins? Basic football. For them to beat us, can they stop the run, which may not be hard? Can they get after Matthew Stafford? And, can they make Stafford air it out? That's it. They always got pressure on Stafford. So that's the question. Last year, Stafford threw a block party on them, but Kirk Cousins wasn't enough. Their defense held up. So can our defense hold up this year versus Cousins? And can we get after Kirk Cousins and, make some plays defensively? But, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Sorry I did week 10 before week 9, but, hey, it is what it is. Appreciate the love, support. Don't forget to check out our Detroit Lions Talk playlist. We almost done. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Always, if you want to reach out, Twitter's the fastest way. Want to make a donation, Cash App, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. Keep sharing the videos. Don't forget to check out my other channel, my main channel, Goodfella Sports TV, right here on YouTube. One time for the one time. It's your boy CJ Goodfella, Motor City Sports Talk. We gone.